Hello everyone, it is Laura Nugent here and company of Peterborough Yoga, and I'm going to be taking everyone through a very grounded, about 30-minute yin sequence led by final savasana and a guided meditation. So what I would like you to do, I happen to have yoga props at home, surprise, surprise, but if you don't, not a big deal. You can grab cushions if you generally use a strap for some of your forward folds. You can use a belt. You may not need it at all though. If you have an eye pillow, great. Or if you just like that pressure on your eyes, you can even get, a folded towel and bring that in. A blanket is pretty handy, so any blanket will do. It doesn't have to be a Mexican blanket. And a block you may need, especially if how I'm sitting now is your knees are up and it's quite uncomfortable. Get a block, sit on that block, but that can also be a folded blanket. So there's lots of options that you can use to move through this practice today, and you don't necessarily need props either. I'll be using them as options to help you feel comfortable in your pose. Okay, so create a safe space, and if possible, if you can create a quiet space away from family members, great. If it's not possible and you have kiddos and maybe animals crawling all over you, just accept that as part of your practice and part of the energy you're welcoming in to your practice today. Okay, so I'm going to have everyone start laying down, getting comfortable. If you need, a pillow under the head, a bolster or pillow under the knees. So if you do have low back issues, I'm going to ask that you put something under the knees to support, and that will ground the lumbar spine really nicely. Okay, so I'll give you a moment to get settled. And if you're still needing to gather some stuff, pause me. That's the beauty of technology, and go get your stuff, create your space, and then come on back. Good. So once you're laying comfortably on the ground, we're going to take a deep inhale through the nose and a nice long exhale through the mouth. Continue that inhale and exhale. Now we're just going to start to feel the body really ground and settle into the earth. So we see there's this yin and yang energy, or yin and yang, some say it as, and the yin energy is earth. It's solid. It's grounding, of course. So the yin tissues in the body are the connective tissues, the tendons, the ligaments, the fascia. Bones are a part of that. So we're going to help release and open up some of that excess tension probably a lot of us are hanging on to right now. So continue to breathe, inhale. Nice long exhale into any tension you're feeling. And each breath is like a breeze blowing through the body, the mind, the emotional states, clearing it out, just like opening up a window. Let yourself feel a little more connected to the support beneath you. And recognizing in this moment for you all is well. So important to be present. Take 3 to 5 more breaths as you are. And when you've completed those few breaths, it's going to roll over to the right side or left if that's better for your spacing. Just come into the fetal position, and you can use that bottom arm as a pillow. Take a few breaths here in the fetal position. And knowing throughout this practice, we're going to keep that really heavy, grounded state as best we can. So each movement is nice and slow and methodical, mindful. And when you are ready to come up, we'll rise up from fetal position. Bring the toes to touch. The knees draw wide, so your favorite variation of child's pose. These can be closer together if you'd like. Bring the head down onto the floor, or for me right now, with this belly, I like a bolster. So you might like that as well. This can also be very comforting because you're resting the chest there, and heart center might need a little more TLC at this time, okay? So you can do that. Drawing down. If you have the prop underneath you, whether it's a pillow, the bolster, a nice big rolled up blanket, just come to settle in. Sink those hips back to heels, making any little movements. And you can turn either side of the head down or have the forehead down to the mat. And some really enjoy seed pose, which is releasing the arms to the sides and turning the palms up. And then just feeling those shoulders drape forward. And I'll instruct you about halfway through this pose to turn the head, so don't you worry about that. Let's find that steady, smooth breath once again. And with each exhalation, just feel that body drape forward. Heart center melting into the prop beneath you or toward the floor. Feeling tension drain from the shoulders. Imagine any weight you may feel yourself carrying on the shoulders, on the back. Let that drain from the back out through the arms and into the fingertips. Let it drip into the earth to be recycled and renewed. Such a beautiful pose to lower the heart rate, to calm the nervous system. It might be a beautiful pose to revisit before bed. If you do find the mind is racing today, we'll find a mantra that suits you. You can inhale with the word let, exhale go. Just repeating that in the mind. So the face and the body can stay relaxed. Let go. It's a really nice time to surrender. Surrendering to things out of our control. It's still trusting in this moment we're well. Feel that breath travel down to the belly, maybe massages a bit on the legs. You might even feel that breath in the low back and in the pelvic floor muscles. Notice how the breath massages you from the inside out. Just taking a moment, turning the head and the other ear down onto the prop or the mat. I'm not going to demonstrate at the moment due to the mic and light year. And settle right back in. Just scan. Notice where you might be holding some excess tension. It might be the neck, the shoulders, the jaw. Maybe clenching through the glutes, the pelvic floor a little. Soften into that trust that the body knows how to let go and let be. Let's tap into the intelligence of the body and allow the mind to have a rest. For these last couple moments, let the body surrender even more. Using mantra and or the observation to help you drop a little deeper. Take 3 to 5 more breaths in your pose. Those few breaths are complete. Just wiggle the fingers a little. Wiggle through the hips gently. And then mindfully start to rise on up. Good. Moving that prop off to the side if you used it. Just because it is such a fan favorite of mine, we're going to ground those hands, arrive in tabletop, so on hands and knees, and move through a couple rounds of cat-cow. So inhale, heart forward, just so slow, tailbone up. Exhale, curl round to cat, look towards the navel. Squeeze out all that air. Head can drop. Inhale, heart opens, nice long, deep breaths. Belly drops, tailbone lifts. Exhale, curl and round. Inhale, offering the heart. Releasing that spine as best you can. Exhale, opening up, stretching out through back body, shoulders and neck. And then we're just going to do 3 more slow rounds. 1 round is an inhale and an exhale. Once you finish those 3 rounds, you'll end it on a nice long exhale, curling up. Come on back into a neutral spine. We'll come to a seated pose. So seated Baddha Konasana. And if you do have a mat under you, you'll turn the other way, so you'll be lengthwise. You can actually lay back eventually. Pads of the feet together, knees wide. If you're not on a mat, that's totally fine. Just make sure there's enough room behind you that you can lay back. So I'm going to scooch forward a little for everyone. And the feet are going to be extended out a little bit further than the knees. So we call this diamond pose, a little more yin than actually pulling those heels really close and making it an active stretch. So if you have hip issues, so if you're in this and the hips and groin are kind of clenching up, let's support that. Put some pillows or blocks, preferably props that are of the same size so you're not having one leg higher than the other. Okay? And if you do have one hip that needs to rest higher because of hip issues, please prop the other hip up to the same height, the other leg up to the same height, because that's going to help balance the pelvis and release the muscles equally, okay? So sitting up nice and tall, lengthen through the spine. Inhale, press through those sit bones, find a little more length, chin slightly tucks. And as you exhale with a straight spine, so keep the heart coming forward, begin to walk forward. If you're not able to come forward too much with a straight spine, don't worry about it. The goal isn't to get our head to our feet, but if you can today, great. Remembering that yoga is a practice, a never-ending and constant practice, where we learn about ourselves each time we arrive on the mat. Inhale, just find a little more length in the spine. Exhale, come forward if it's available. If you need more support, you can grab a bolster, a rolled up blanket. Rolled up blanket might not work so well in this regard because it has to be stiff, but you can place it on the feet and place the hands there. Take 3 more deep breaths with that nice long spine. Breathing deep into that low belly, low back, feeling the knees soften down towards the earth. On that next exhale, start to round into it. So you're going to bow into it. That's where you can put a prop, a bolster, pillow, whatever it might be, on the legs and melt forward into that. If you do by chance have a bolster at home, you can prop it up. Sometimes it could be on the feet depending on the size or just in front. And place the forehead on the bolster, relaxing into it. And this is a more restorative variation. Hold Yin pose for 3 to 5 minutes minimum, because that's what's found when the fascia, the connective tissue of the body, can actually give in a little. Fascia is translated into the glue which holds us together. So its job is to keep holding us together, and sometimes it just gets too tight due to our movement patterns or stress patterns. And we'll take some time to encourage it to do the opposite of its job, which is to let go. And perhaps back to that mantra, inhale that. Exhale, go. You might find as we settle into the pose, if you are up higher, the body can relax down a little bit more. One of my favorite variations before belly, or when I don't have a pregnant belly, is to draw my hands under my legs and palms to tops of the feet and fold in, and just let those legs soften onto the arms, kind of anchors you down here. Doesn't feel great, don't worry about it. Come on out and just drape forward. Breathe into those areas of tension. Exhale, start to let it go even a little bit more. And we'll just take another 3 to 5 breaths in our bound angle. And let's stand slowly, start to rise up. Right. Take your hands behind you, maybe on palms or up on fingertips, and just lift up through the heart. Just very, very gentle back bend. Lift through the sternum, keep the legs relaxed. You look up towards ceiling, it's okay for the neck. Moving any props out of the way so you can come to rest on the back. If you do happen to be pregnant, you might, on our past, that 5-month marker, laying on your back isn't comfortable anymore. You can put the bolster back and come to lay back on the bolster, and sometimes even a block under the top of that bolster or pillow, so you're just raising it a bit higher. Feels really nice, so I'm going to demonstrate that today. Extend our legs out. Come to lay on the back or on that prop, arms off to the sides. And just allow those legs to release. If you feel back pain here, let's avoid that. Bend your knees. Walk your feet wide to the outer edges of the mat and bring the inner knees to touch. It's very supportive of the low back and also releases the iliopsoas muscle, one of our strongest hip flexors. So just feel that steady, smooth breath arriving and releasing. And then when ready, just slowly draw those legs up. Bring the feet to touch. Arms can draw off to the sides. And then lowering the legs over to the right into your twist. Some like to place the hands. So for me, the best example how this will look, because I don't like to twist too deep, but at the same time, some of you may need this if you have hip, groin issues, or if you do have a pregnant belly, then put some props under and maybe even between the legs. You don't want to twist too deep in pregnancy by any means, or if you especially have low back issues. So prop it up if needed. And then release the arms. You can look straight up or you can look over to the left, getting the full twist through the entire spine. So I'd like to take that right hand, they might rest it on the abdomen or on your left leg. And with each exhalation, soften into this twist, wringing out any emotions that are not serving you. Getting that nice flexibility in our spine. Wringing out those organs. And with each exhalation, softening a little bit more into the mat. Exhale, release even deeper. If the body starts to melt into the pose, you feel release through the hips, the back. You can try removing one or two props, depending what you have. The legs might soften to the floor. Don't force that again if you do have a pregnant belly or if you have back hip pain. And we're going to count out 6 to 10 more breaths on this side. And you're done those breaths. There's absolutely no rush. Your own time, slowly bring that top leg up and then the bottom. Keep props handy if you use them, just off to the side. And you can rest with knees bent for a few breaths or extend the legs out. Just let everything kind of click back into place, settle. That spine align, the hips release into the earth, the shoulders relax back. And in your own time, you can walk the feet back together, grabbing your props if you need them, and lowering the legs over to the left. And you can look towards the ceiling, or you can turn the head to the right, feeling that twist through the spine. Softly close those eyes, release the tongue from the roof of the mouth. A comfortable position for the arms. So if it feels good, it is right for you. So take that time to get there. Mindful, you don't have to force yourself into a variation that you think you should be in, or that you've seen another teacher or yoga practitioner do. It's about finding comfort and ease and allowing the muscular system to completely relax. And then the fascia, the connective tissue, can have its turn to let go. to observing that massage of the breath. Rippling through the body. That lower abdominal breath, abdominal breathing. You don't actually want to press out and distend the belly. Just inhale and let the belly fill. The rest of the body fill and expand. And exhale, let everything fall. It spills out. Don't put too much effort into it. But for some, it might feel unnatural because you've spent a lot of time in that chest breath, that fight or flight response. And that's okay. Just welcome it down and practice your belly breath now. So the tongue is glued back to the roof of the mouth again. Release it. Let the muscles of the face soften. Teeth are slightly separated, lips closed, softening through the jaw. Allow all expression to leave the face. We'll take those last 6 to 10 breaths here. When you're done those two again, there's absolutely no rush. We'll bring our legs back through center. That spine in a nice long line. Maybe just pause for a moment with knees bent, just feeling everything settle. There's no rush, slow, mindful movements. We're going to set up for our final relaxation. So, those pillows under the knees or rolled blanket might feel really good if you need to support the low back. Good. Softening into it, let the arms draw to the sides, palms up. So I like to also rest the hands on the body. And one on heart, one on belly, both down on hips, whatever feels most natural. Welcome yourself into that. Walk the shoulder blades a little bit underneath you. Tuck the chin ever so slightly towards the chest, lengthening the neck. And then release all effort. Let a wave of breath ripple through you. As you melt and drop into the earth, feel each point of contact you have with the mat, with the props, essentially with that yin solid energy beneath you. And feel as if that support almost rises up to meet you, and you can soften into it, like melting into warm golden sand. And as the body melts back and surrenders, notice any thoughts, thoughts, any emotions, physical sensations, or distractions, whether internal or external. Even the sound of my voice, it all becomes part of this meditative state. The tongue drops away from the roof of the mouth. Continue to surrender, to let go and let be. Observe what is present, not trying to ignore it, push it down. Whatever anxieties or fears, thoughts arise, you see them. And you just let them move as best they can with the next breath. Knowing that change is our only constant. And trusting that if you focus on what you need and you desire, positive change will arise, physically, mentally, emotionally. And simply trust in this moment that all is well. You're in a safe space that you've created. And you're able to melt back further and further into the support beneath you. You'll allow yourself to drift into a sleep if needed. Not worrying about trying to get there. Acknowledging the moment. Surrendering into the moment. And following the wave of your breath. To continue to stay, rest here as long as you would like. When you do feel ready to move on, from your practice. Just bend the knees. So again, really slow movements, keeping that nervous system calm. The breath steady. Roll to one side in the fetal position, taking a few breaths there. And I'll just allow you to move up and out of your yoga practice again in your own time. Continue to stay breathing in your final relaxation, savasana. I wish each of you so many blessings. May you arrive back at this breath when you feel overwhelmed, disconnected, or unsafe. May you remind yourself that the only constant is change. Namaste.